Hello there everyone and welcome back to more Battlesector. Hopefully, maybe, if you're seeing this video then it means ultimately I was able to at least get one multiplayer match in, and even then, with the amount of months it's been since the actual release of Battlesector, I am probably going to be a bit of an underdog, simply put, especially with what I have in mind in the fact that I'm actually going to be playing with the Tyranids at least initially with the multiplayer. I even got like a 1,000-point army all set up here, spent a little bit of time trying to learn the nuances of what they can do, and it will remain to be seen if I want to tweak them a bit, since in all honesty, I could throw in units for getting a full 20 if I so wish, and then swap and switch them around as needed based on the map I'm on, but at least initially, or at least probably for the majority of these videos, I'm going to be the host of these servers, so I kind of already know what I'm going to be going into. But there is definitely a map like the bridge, I believe, which might be incredibly terrible for me being so melee focused. At least that's the impression I get, but we will learn as we go through these battles, and hopefully I can bring you some entertaining battles and tense battles at that as we go. But to start off with, I think I'm just going to go with the place a challenge. It's kind of an open space with a little bit of cover. And it has a kind of a bit of a no man's land in the middle, which probably will mean my certain death. Hell, I'm even going to handicap myself potentially even further by going with an exterminatus type of objective play. But there are other mission types that revolve around the objective. At least two of them at least. I'm going to assume Conquer is a single objective, where Strategic Command has multiple different objectives, if I had to guess. We're just going to keep it simple, we're going to keep it basic, and... oh, this is just randomized saying, okay. I was wondering why it was moving the turn limit when I was clicking on the objective. Either way, this is the thought process I do have with my Tyranid Swarm. Mainly I'm going to try and get... split up my gaunts into two different groups, have the gargoyles serve as kind of vultures primarily. If they can, the dream is they go after whatever is weakened, whatever is crippled, and they can finish them off, with the possibility of providing a little bit of support with the blinding venom, if I can get away with it. Although, they are pretty expensive, I don't want to get them killed for free essentially, although, let's be honest, I guess the regular gaunts are kind of just as expensive as hell. I didn't realize how cheap the Termagants were in compared to the Hormagaunts. At the very least though, the Hormagaunts have an additional amount of hit points which will help them get into melee a little bit better, and if they're foolish enough to leave just a single or two gaunts per squad up, then at least they can boost up the rest of their swarm to give me potentially double damage if I'm lucky enough. It's going to be a very aggressive type of play with my main warriors kind of providing long range support and harassment, ideally. Venom Soaps to kind of provide a little bit of protection for him, especially for my Prime, who is quite literally a combat damage dealer. He almost does absolutely nothing in terms of abilities, outside of course Synaptic Leader, which cannot be overlooked without a doubt. And if I can get all these grouped together, if I can swarm them all at once, especially with my very aggressive mindset I'm having, I can get multiple stacks on these units, and especially my heavy hitters, which are the warriors, which keep in mind, if they somehow get a kill, there's a very real chance they can get an additional action point and continue to lay on the hurt. It could snowball out of control if they are not focused down, which is where the Venom Soap is ideally going to help make that difficult. It's going to get in front and provide a little bit of cover with their bodies, on top of the Spore Cloud providing a little bit of cover as well. And then the Thornback, well, it just synergizes with the aggressive nature because I want to get in their face. It's just really the heaviest hitter I can provide, and sadly I would like 5 movement points on here because I'm really tempted to kind of just downgrade one of my gargoyles just to get a Tyrannofax of some kind, since it seems like it's going to have more staying power. Never mind the fact that it has kind of the same mobility, as I don't think Battering Ram really does much, at least at max range. It's when I'm already in the thick of the fighting that Battering Ram could do a ridiculous amount of damage. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of things I'm going to have to learn, and I am going to stick with 1,000 points to kind of minimize the complications and hopefully get us a nice good pace going. And then otherwise, it's only a matter of time to see if we get a mirror match or if we're going to get the matchup that we want, which is Blood Angels versus Tyranids. Alright, we got ourselves a match. Whether this is going to be a train wreck for me just because I do feel like I'm handicapping myself quite a bit due to the map and objective mode, but it's going to be a learning experience. We're going to have to put ourselves through this kind of pace before we could truly expect any improvements, alas. Although, I'm wondering where my final Gaunt squad is. I kind of want as many as forward as I can, because that's kind of important. And, well, it helps with momentum at the very least, because there isn't really a lot of reason for him to be in back if I can help it. And we'll just place them there. And I'm wondering if we can do placement at the same time or not, since there isn't really much reason for him to wait on me. Alright, match is starting. And it should be a pretty simple start. I just want to sprint on forward. It'll take about 2 turns maybe before I can even get within visual range, or at the very least get to these towers, even with the gaunts. And let's see. Oh, did he move first there? I'm just trying to figure out what happened there. I don't even know if it's the best idea to go flanking. I just know going through the middle is terrible just because of like the no man's land that's kind of there. It would just mean I'm going to get myself killed really quickly, and sprinting should be ideal. I probably do want to sprint. Just a question of what do we do with the warriors, because they want to support. And spraying out too wide can be a little bit problematic too. So I gotta be careful of that, in case they decide to do a flank maneuver with the majority of them. Especially since I don't really have vision myself to... Well, if they have land speeders, they have the advantage on me for awareness and tracking me. That's the main process, which is something I'm heavily limited in with the Tyranid squad. Unless my gargoyles give me extra vision, because that's something I don't really get with the Blood Angels, is the ability to just provide, fly over terrain and all that stuff. We'll see. It's again going to be a learning experience. I did take some time to understand how the armor penetration works, and really it's just a 10% decrease for every difference in armor piercing. Armor piercing versus the actual armor, rather. Which, in the case of the gaunts or gargoyles, because they do so little damage, that eventually they'll do absolutely nothing if they're below like 50%. Although these flesh borers are currently getting buffed up somewhere by swarm tactics, I think. Alright, we got movement there. I wonder how close he has to get to notice my movement. That's what I'm wondering about. Would he have noticed all that when I sprinted there for my first turn? Or is there proximity? That's going to be pretty important. And it doesn't actually tell us what kind of targets they are, only that there's possibly 3 units there, I think. That's what I'm inclined to believe when I see these individual pings, maybe. It could be possible that moving one space at a time is triggering it. That's the only thing I'm not sure about. Feels like all the units are moving there, but again, is it just him doing like one move at a time? Because that almost feels like if they're individually separate units, then there's a lot of them. Which means they're probably all intercessors and everything. Which means grenades are going to suck a bit here. Alright, we got one on the right. I just want to make that a note. It moved further than others, so it could be assault marines, it could be land speeder. One of those two things seem very likely, unless it's like a captain. Now, I do want to move forward and just get a little bit of vision, but not get these killed off. Especially since I don't believe these walls actually give me cover, with that said. Is there a way I can determine? Nothing yet. And maybe 8 turns might be a little bit unnecessary. I'm kind of wondering now if we're going to be playing a very cautious game. It's a learning experience though. And I do want cover. I just don't think I'm at risk of getting shot at just yet here. I just need to know what it is we're fighting and where the majority of them are, really. And I'll keep the Alpha back, or the Prime, for good measure. They're just going to punish anything that goes through the middle. And I know there was something up here. It's probably not going to encounter it yet. But again, I don't know what provides cover. I'm probably more inclined to go here, with that said. Embrace my inner vulture, as it were. Gotta be careful that these guys are spread out a tiny bit. And this, again, probably is not cover. It feels like it's not anyway. Alright. You can't do anything, so we'll just get you in the cover, I guess. And I'm going to advance you forward a tiny bit. Although revealing the Prime could be a bad thing, if I'm not careful. Since I know now they're probably getting prompts at this distance. Alright, that's just all units that can't overwatch. Yeah, I worry that this game may end with no real resolution if we play too cautious, so I think by turn 4... Well, maybe not, doesn't even need to be turn 4, maybe by turn 5 or 6 I'll just go in there recklessly, just to give us some bloodshed. Nope, helps if I actually type properly. Alright, so I just gave him valuable intel that I probably don't know what the hell I'm doing. But either way, let's try and make this enjoyable somehow. I have cover for most of them. I know he had at least units on the edge of my vision. Which, if there's a land speeder there... Alright, so I guess we can rest easy knowing that it's a pair of equals, arguably. Although since I play a lot of strategy games in general, maybe I have the advantage there. It's a very strong possibility at least. Unless my opponent's also well versed in playing a lot of strategy games. Since after all, I did just recently come off of playing Blood Bowl and being the champion of the recent season after all. It's just a matter of understanding what my units can do. And again, I do feel like I am handicapping myself just because of the mission type, and the map doesn't feel like it encourages my army all that well either. Hopefully in time, hopefully we can give you more matches where there's some refinement, never mind the fact larger armies at that. And then we'll see what happens there. Otherwise, everything seems like it's slowly advancing. It's just a question, can I pounce on them? Because my biggest fear with this Rush army is that they play more of a turtle style, and with intercessors having their grenades, they can kind of demolish my gaunts almost single-handedly. And then they just kite back, since there's no incentive for them to stay in the middle of the map after all. That's what my biggest fear is, especially with this army composition. As it's only my gargoyles. Yep. So I know I had something on the edge of vision there. Is there a way I can reveal them? Not with the gargoyles, I don't think. And I gotta be careful, this will probably... Okay, 3 overwatches. And auto bolt rifle. They have to upgrade bolt rifles. Okay, this is useful. Now it's just a question, where could they go? Is it possible I can hug over here? Oh, helps if I... Yep. Dang it, that's annoying. I have to click on it again. Now, I really do want to advance. It seems unnecessary a little bit. And I don't know if their vision's being hindered at all. They probably can see my units, but I'm really hoping I can make this work. I don't quite have the range. And I have Venom Swords to help provide cover, although that may... Well, actually, one thing I learned is this doesn't take action points, so... Are they out of range? Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. They... No way I can reach them, so... I might as well play a little bit cautious. I don't know how many turns this actually runs for, but... We can get units in position. Probably was not really necessary, if I'm honest, but... Since only... The Intercessors don't really have a lot of armor piercing against the Warriors and Thornback. So, in theory, I should be okay, especially with the auto bolt rifle having extra armor piercing. This is a little bit trepidatious. I'm worried about advancing too far forward. Okay, there's a land speeder there. And then we're just going to back up and see. Again, I don't feel this gives me any cover to justify moving forward. Which makes me wonder if I even should advance forward with that said. That's the only thing I'm really curious about. Where's my third Gaunt Squad? Okay, I was wondering where the heck my third Gaunt Squads were. I think the smartest choice is to take the hits. And although with me only seeing a single unit, it might not really be worth it to go all in. It's a bit of a conundrum. Because I know a Lance... Ah, dang it, I was talking too much. I forgot about the turn timer, that's fine. And especially with me typing here, that slowed down my timers too. That was the main reason, I did not account for that. Oh well. Hopefully they don't punish me too much, because I don't think they see me yet. And if anything, that gives me a turn to benefit from the spore field. And you're going to get a good shot on me here. Is there a way I can easily see what kind of damage you can do? Okay, battle line tactics. And there's a lot of units there. Half the squad's dead. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. They have one more movement point. And I will be in striking range next turn. It's just a question on how many units will be alive. Because this will provide cover. And actually, I should have pretty good cover because of the statue too. This should survive. This squad should survive. Depending what they aim at. Okay, just Overwatch. And I'm wondering about my command points with that said. Aggressors, they are scary. I kind of avoid using them for my game, so I'm not sure how terrifying they really are. And burnt some movement there. I'm fine with. Do they have an action point still? Okay, now they do. And it's impossible to know what their action points are, but I can get some good flanking shots here. A melee attack almost seems demanded, just because of the battle line tactics weakens them so tremendously in that regard. It seems to me that I should attack with something. I just need a way to burn their overwatches for that. Which gargoyles could potentially do. Hellblasters I'm honestly not scared about. They're not too terrifying against gaunts. But they will fry my warriors in prime if I can't get on them. If anything, I should probably back up. Because my army is again spread out a little bit. And if it gets some... Yeah, I should get some like glancing shots on them and then back off really. I think that would be a smarter choice perhaps. Because we know everything is here. And the main strength is if I can swarm them with all my units, really. I can easily get some glancing shots and back off, though. I'm not gonna lie, it's tempting here. But again, we'll wait till turn 5 or 6 before I go in there and kamikaze. If I am serious. Although, I have no idea what their turn timer is, alas. But, again, glancing shots with the warrior. I don't know if the Thornback can do some damage there. And because of me roaming with the camera, I didn't pay attention to movement over here. Land Spear just backed off, is what I think that tells me. They have an Apothecary, which is going to be annoying if I don't kill a unit. Now it's just a matter of figuring out the point cost. I can get some shots in there. Yeah, with the Apothecary, all I can really do is... I gotta make sure I get kills. Let's see. I am getting buffed up. This will be decent damage. Probably not gonna kill anything, of course, but soften them up. And then try for another shot next turn. Unless you can get a shot in there. Not unless I move 3 spaces forward, which is not a good idea. And they do have Hellblasters. And I gotta keep an eye on my vision. They were all looking this way. I want to believe maybe they did not see the Thornback or even the Prime. And there's no way I can damage them. Not unless I advance forward, which could be a mistake. But I have the movement. And the evasion at that too. I'm just going to take a light hit. Still out of range. That was a waste. That was a waste of my time. Now we're just going to back up. I probably should leave them out in the open for possible charge opportunities, but I don't know how effective that truly is going to be. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fancy into the middle is a bad idea for him, but 1, 2. Yeah, I'm going to be out in the open, but I shouldn't be able to take too heavy of hits, hopefully. And I can give some protection here. Maybe not much. Probably not worth it with me having cover already. And I have 1 minute left. So we know things have backed off here. I think I'm relatively safe advancing forward. Okay, Land Spear Tornado. That is good to know. And let's see. And I have 45 seconds. 1 more, I think, to get shots on it. Not going to be pretty, but the Apothecary can't repair that. Which is fine by me. "20 seconds. Let's remember this. And I know the majority of the army is over there. I did a terrible job doing the math for how much exactly. Oh, that I did not want to do. And I have 5 seconds left, which is enough. They just sadly rotate, which isn't really going to do much, honestly. That was all but a complete turn. Yeah, it took out almost a third of their health, easily a quarter. And the cover was the only reason I couldn't have done more there. And they do have a multi-melta, which means I do pursue this thing, even though they go the same movement as me. Which is where learning how to charge properly is going to be important. Since apparently, so long as I'm next to them, even if they're not within my melee range, I could charge them, but I need clear line of sight, basically. Which is going to be important, because that technically allows me to move 7 attack from a range of 7, with the action point to charge forward 1 more. Okay, intercessors. They're advancing forward, that's fine. It's just a question on how effective their aim is. Since I can't remember how I position these my gaunts on the left. And it'll be my turn 5 next. So next turn I will seriously. Yep. Are they trying to shoot me? Okay, they are. Just probably not the best accuracy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't charge them, sadly, because of the line of sight, but they were in charge distance. That is unfortunate there. First blood is theirs. It's that one space that I had to move forward that probably caused that problem. Thinking I could actually shoot them. But is it possible we could chase down the land speeder? Probably not. I have too many units on the right, which means they're probably going to advance through the middle, with that said. And we'll see what kind of damage we can do afterwards. Because we know the apothecary is just going to heal the one squad that was damaged. And it basically undoes what I did there. And they have a unit on the far left too. Yeah, if I was able to get more aggressive or more comfortably be aggressive on the right side, maybe I would have my gaunts pretty close to just surrounding them. Or at the very least be on top of that land speeder. The confirmation that I can push up on the right was seeing so many of their squads on the left here, since they have 2 Devastators, which is 90 points I think, 74, and at least 4 Intercessors, and Apothecary for around 150 I think. Tornado is 120. I'm not going to do that math in my head quickly. But what are you doing? You burnt an action point, it seems like. I'm just trying to figure out for what, unless something bugged out or lagged out. I think maybe it moved, it sprinted away, just doing a bad job registering that. Oh, is it because he ran out of time? Is that what happened? Because you know what time it is now. Let's see, what's the optimum range? 4. So I do want to go here and just pummel them to oblivion. And then we'll just claw it, swarm tactics, and all that good stuff. Actually, let's see. And you should hopefully just kill this thing, right? Nom 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 nom. Although it may have been just a turn timer and everything's messed with my opponent, so that may not be something worth bragging too much about. Alas. But It keeps me in the lead there. And we can start maneuvering to try and flank our adversary. Because I'm just going to fall back. Unless I can get some more glancing shots, which... Oh, my gargoyle's still alive. Wow. Not that it really helps all that much. Because what's the range here? I can poison him and fly the hell away. Which doesn't honestly mean a lot, because apparently I still can't hit him, even though it looks like I was in range. Dang it. I have to move 2 more. That was misleading a little bit. And that has to burn my action point to get up there. And I gotta be careful. I just want to fall back. That's a simple plan here. I have 9 seconds left. I can hit them, but not very well. And we're going to shoot them. And now we're going to provide us some cover there. I don't know how effective it's going to ultimately be, but it is covered nonetheless, and the Thornback maybe starts pushing up a little bit through the middle. That's a big maybe. I don't like it. Yep. Okay, so the intercessors are... the Hellblasters are there. I could provide that cover. Actually, just maybe if you can charge, that'd be pretty good. We will just take these hits probably the best we can. Actually, you can go there. You'll have cover, you'll be okay. And what is left? I think turns over, but I think it was just them. Thornback might die to the Hellblasters depending on how they advance, but if they advance forward, then I'm in perfect position to maybe jump them with my gaunts, if I'm so lucky. And here I thought they got 5 points for killing my units, but I think they need to kill the entire squad is what that is. And since one gargoyle did survive, they didn't get any points, so I may have misread that as momentum that they gained for killing the gargoyles as opposed to points. Because I think it's 1 point for every 10 value of the unit you killed, or at least the squad. But it's getting tense now, folks. They're slow and brutish, which means I shouldn't have to worry about them until I get into the thick of it, and they do have grenades too. Gotta be cautious of that, and honestly, my gargoyle could be perfect for burning some overwatches if I do it right. Never mind the fact my prime could do something too. Depending on if I have my command point yet, because there's a little ability that could be really good for this type of situation. It's just a matter of how to get the most out of it, because it looks like he's turtling himself a bit. Oh, and he didn't actually heal these guys yet. Or at least it doesn't look like it. Or was that the one I shot at earlier? Hard to say, because the apothecary was in the fog of war. And you know it's going to try healing when it can, because that gives him momentum. But at the same time, that means he has no big power play or big heavy hitting unit. The priest just keeps all his units alive. He's thinking more elite and potent units overall, all around his army, as opposed to having big impactful ones. Or at least they're thinking that. And there is a lot of things I can do here. It's just, again, they have grenades, which is going to be a bit of a pain. I would love just a harpy bombing right now. That would be amazing. Yep, they're just turtling right now, which is fine. It sets up this surround quite nicely if I do it right. And then something in the back. At least something in the back. I don't know what yet. But this is probably going to be a norm, a kind of death ball type of formation after all. It seems like the simplest and safest route to go after all. Convenient. It helps with critical hits at least. Now, my prime does not have its ability up. And I do want to advance forward to see what we have to work with. Which isn't a whole lot yet. Alright, so turn timer aside. Let's see what we can do. I don't think my warriors are going to be able to gauge anything. Although, I know they're relatively safe, they're just not seen, period, at the moment. I got some good shots here. It's just a question of how to best fight. Because I can shoot, fall back, and get ready for a surround, maybe. Now, I'm just wondering. I don't like this idea of being out in the open, but I do have Venom Sorps to help a little bit with that, I think. No, the poison cloud's no longer in effect. Okay. Oh no, it's the wrong one. Oh no, it was the right one. So let's just fall back. Yeah, I thought this was still going. I suppose it's a one-turn thing, from what I'm learning. And best I could do is just get as many of my units on them as I can. Oh, I was in cover, so that's a good way to burn some overwatches, even if it didn't really do a whole lot. And I want this gargoyle in position to maybe poison something. I have 1 minute left. Let's keep that in mind. And Hell Blasters aren't going to be all that effective. Ultimately. That probably was a mistake going there. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can't go very far. Hopefully I can make this work. And then what's left? This feels like a mistake having them out in the open like that, but actually let's have the gargoyles protect the warrior just an off chance they get shot at. Then what else? I do want the prime to stay alive, but I think the prime is fine as it is. It's the Thornback I'm a little scared of, and I did lose momentum. Well, I guess I'm going to make the turn timer a little bit longer, just in case. Next turn, hopefully I'm just going to charge in there, because the score dictates my opponent should be the aggressor. But just to make this interesting and entertaining, I'm probably going to go in there, regardless of what they do. Even though it will ultimately mean my humiliating demise if they just turtle. Since all my units are basically the same distance from them. If you if you keep in mind the fact that their Hell Blasters and their other units are further back. I should have decent cover here, right? Oh no, just grenade. It survived. Half the squad's still alive there, so they would have to throw another grenade to finish him off. And that squad probably will want to get healed up. Are they going to throw another grenade, though? I don't think they're in range for another grenade. Oh, they are. Alright, 4 points there. Which, yeah, the math sort of adds up, since that was a 45-point squad. Maybe if they kill an Aragon squad, they would be up to 9. I'm just wondering. I don't know if I'm able to engage or not. Because again, they're all going to advance forward with everything, and then my northern squad's not going to be able to engage. As I would like. Killed the one Gaunt. Or the Gargoyle. And here I thought he was safe. Out of vision, all that stuff. Hellblasters are not too scary, but their overwatch can be annoying for my units. I just don't want to look at this angle, because I want to make sure I'm aware of what movement they're doing. Okay, so overwatch there. I can easily negate that. Okay, we can engage these intercessors easily enough. I feel like we can. I just don't know if my movement adds up to that. Because again, I can't charge them like I would want. That's the aggressors, which are lagging behind as the main meat shield. Which is part of the reason why I didn't like them for my army. They're almost always going to be falling behind. Especially since the missions kind of encourage you to be more mobile and aggressive. Since you kind of need to get to certain destinations. And something's hanging back further back for some reason. That would be an interesting idea. Just maybe have like a gargoyle or something hang in the back here and then just do nothing with it. Okay, that's for buff to melee damage. Which doesn't really help his squad besides the priest itself. Now, we're ready to start engaging. We're ready to start shooting. And I have Hellblasters and everything. I promised to go full in aggression. And this is probably a good opportunity to do that too. I was hoping the evasion would help some there, but can they burn the Hellblasters Overwatch? One survives, so I can debilitate them now, right? Oh, never mind. I didn't realize there was another squad back. Sadly, not in range for the melee charge. This is why I need to position myself a little bit better, because that looks like it may have backfired a bit. No, can't, sadly. I got excited, but wasn't meant to be. Now, gotta be mindful of damage I'm gonna do to myself. Because I'm going in there full on aggression. Oh yeah. I should have used that command point, although considering it was only on a gargoyle, it wasn't really that much of a waste in all honesty. Now let's just advance forward to buff their accuracy some. Shoot them some more, because that's what warriors do. And sadly cannot get into melee like I want. But I do have the spore field to help some. We'll give them some protection. And I have 1 minute left. So if I'm not likely to kill one of them, sadly, because the damage is getting spread out. Alas. And I have 1 movement point left, so let's just shoot one. Hopefully we get lucky killing something. So Overwatch is there, which thankfully with all the units in the way makes that a little awkward. And start shooting everything. Although I am providing a little... Probably not doing the best here. Oh, actually I could just melee these guys and keep whacking them. Nope, out of range. I got excited for a moment. Oh well, next turn maybe using that ability to turn off their Overwatch could be important. So, without a doubt, grenades are going to be at play here. Which probably means all my gaunts are about to die. And my prime is... Well, my prime should be... Well, I don't know. Is my prime actually safe from the Hell Blasters? Because that was a mistake thinking I could melee these guys. That'll probably be the death of them there. Without a doubt, grenade there. That weakens them. But they're still alive, thankfully, which hinders these two squads a bit. And these were the ones that meleeed them too, so that's what's marking them. If they're going to try and shoot. Yep, heal them up there. Absolute miss there, which is fine, although these other ones will likely do the damage needed. And burnt the Hell Blaster shot. I think that was the biggest success there, at the very least. Since that means they're not going to be able to shoot my valuable units, which are the Warriors and the Thornback. Aggressors are going to be annoying, but they can't really do anything at the moment until I expose my units. Can they? Okay, they can't shoot them. No, that was a grenade. I'm just surprised these gaunts are surviving. With less than 5 hit points, keep that in mind. If those were Termagaunts, that would be an entire squad wipe right there. Which is a big deal. Otherwise, they're going to flank and just kill off this one squad, I think. Might have a little bit of cover, though. And they do have a little bit of evasion, which might barely... No. I thought maybe the cover here might give them enough to stay alive. And they can fall back still, keep in mind. They're just going to be blocking each other. But they are able to fall back, which is the main thing I'm kind of afraid of a little bit. But battle line tactics means these guys die almost immediately if I can get melee attacks on them. And next time I guess I'll try and make it longer. I don't know how long is appropriately long, because when I set the default turn timer is 300 seconds, and I feel like 5 minutes might be a little bit excessive, if I'm honest. Oh well. Their turn is almost done otherwise, I think. They just gotta follow their units back. And now they're getting the urgency of this. Will they be able to move this last squad? Because rotating isn't going to help much unless you can overwatch. And let's see. What is the plan? Because right now it's set to 200 seconds, which is just over 3 minutes. Oh, it's not locked right now, so I don't know what the heck they did, if anything. Aww. Okay, that's unfortunate. I don't know how I should feel about this. This alone feels like I should just scrap this entire video. Just because of this anticlimactic ending. Although, let's be honest, the gaunts were meant to take the hits, so that way my main units, which are the warriors and thornbacks, could destroy everything, which they probably could have because of battle line tactics. Yeah, I think I already talked a little bit about their abilities. It's just a shame we were robbed of that glory. Probably because, of course, I made things too short. That could be a bit of what happened, because that was the entire reason why I probably got away with destroying the tornado, let's be fair. Probably not due to my own good strategizing. But, just to have a look at what was going to go on, both my warriors and the Prime had natural killer, and all they need is to kill a single unit, which sadly I was robbed from doing with my warriors with their shooting. But then, they could do a they could do a ridiculous amount of damage and just snowball out of control if all three of them were able to get an extra action point. And if anything, if they kill multiple units that may be all but guarantees, they get an extra action point regardless, which would be really nice. And then the battering ram, I don't know how it would line up, but I don't need to tell you how effective that could have been. Ultimately, I think the strategy was good. It's just, of course, the turn timer was too short. Maybe I was given a kill to the tornado because of that turn timer, sadly. And all that. Again, I don't know how I feel about this. It just means we have to try some more. And have a little bit more of a generous turn timer, I guess. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I will see you next time.